Hello, welcome back. Is that better? Are we still lagging? We're good? Hey, mommy. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So far, so good. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right, good. I'm glad that's better. I don't know I feel like TikTok all day long has been lagging and just been yuck. Thank you, Bex. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. My invitations are off? Is that a thing? Better? Try now. I didn't even know you could turn them off.
Okay.
I didn't
It
even know you
won't
could
let
turn those
me.
things off. I didn't even know you could turn that off.
Yeah, it said it was off, so I was like, dang.
Ew. Hello, hello. Hey guys, do me a favor, share this live out and tap the screen, please. Please, please, please. Y'all know I'm gonna be the reason y'all have arthritis.
Lord.
I know, it's been a day, man. I'm so tired. It's freaking wild. But you're really scared for Ryan right now? I'm not scared for Ryan, guys, but man, how much info was dumped in that apology?
I don't know. Like, she's doing a lot of this. Like, if you follow the things she's done in the past and what she does now, like,
Yeah. I don't know. She is getting a little dangerous. I feel like she's man parole. The end of parole is coming around, and so
no,
I don't
but if
know.
you think about it, a lot of the stuff that she was doing underhand before were in videos. Like, that's the whole basis of how they even kind of figured out what was going on is through videos. Like, think about it. They said they had over 100 hours or 100, yeah, 100 hours of videos.
That's wild. That's wild. Sorry, I had to turn that down.
When you think about that, yeah, that's the whole basis of like the stuff she had going on.
Yep.
So it's, I don't know, like I feel like if you just pay attention to like
Yep.
the
Yeah.
habits, you just,
Mhm. I
and I
agree.
don't feel like he needs to like be scared per se. I just feel like he needs to be cautious.
Yeah, he does. I agree. I do. I agree. She's just a vicious animal. Like that's what I think of when I see all of this nonsense that she's doing. I feel like she's a vicious animal. You know what I mean? Like she's just. How dare you sit there and say that? Well, did you see the part in the video where she's talking about, you have the right to speak because it's your story too, and I'm not gonna stop you. Like the most unhinged crap comes out of her mouth, and it's just wild.
That you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's just wild. It's crazy.
Not only that, like she's he said, I'm sorry that you fell in love with such a piece of shit like me. Like,
Right though.
no, but for her to say that she was trying to make him feel bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. She was gaslighting. That whole thing was a big. You know what I mean? It was me, 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 me. She actually. It was. blaming him for the most part.
Yeah, because she was like, I can't believe the person you turned out to be.
Yeah.
Sure, your mom is saying that about you right now.
Yep. Yep.
Like the fact that you had the audacity to say, I can't believe you turned.
I know. Oh my goodness. I know.
Are we for real?
It's crazy. I think can we use this to break up with her? Well, first of all, she admitted that right there in the video, didn't she? She admitted that she was going through some issues with Ken and she went running back to Ryan. Did she not admit that? So, I mean, that right there shows that there were obviously issues in that relationship. You know as well as I do, guys, that they are broken up. They are on and off. They're doing, oh, come on. That whole freaking relationship is a freaking hot mess. And she literally just admitted it to TikTok. As she's sitting there telling us that these creators are liars and look what they're saying and they're out there starting rumors. Meanwhile, your girl just admitted it there, Gilligan. So tell us again how perfect your relationship with Ken is. You literally admitted to running back to Ryan when shit hit the
You know
fan.
what that reminds me of?
What? What? Stop. Not my what what?
When you said, what does that have to do with me? You know,
Stop it. Are you talking about my relationship? Freaking that was the wildest freaking thing ever, Nina. Man, I kind of want to tell them the story, but I feel like I couldn't contain myself.
all right, I'm gonna tell him.
All right, you tell them. Wait,
First,
let
just
first.
buckle up. This story is about to be so unhinged and so wild. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell y'all this and keep a straight face, but I'm going to try.
It's just, let me just say, it's funny today. Wasn't funny when it happened. It's funny today. Okay, just saying that. Shoot.
Okay, so Ivory's on the phone with me and a few other people. And Ivory's like, oh, I just got this phone call from Florida. I don't know who this is. Right. So she was like, well, somebody asked me if they could call me, but they don't have my number, but they live in that same spot. So I'm like, yeah, okay, girl. I would thought she was trolling me, really just on the phone. So I'm like, okay, girl, just go answer the call. Like,
Oh
so
God.
she comes over and she's like, yo, it's this person from TikTok that I didn't give my number to. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm waiting for her to say it's a joke. Okay. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, girl. Uh-huh. And she was like, no, but like, I'm serious. I'm still thinking she's pulling my leg. Okay. So she's still on the phone with us. She's just talking kind of like, but like she
That's
pauses
stubborn.
every few minutes and starts saying something randomly about it, like in between these conversations. Right. So I'm like, okay. So she was like, well, I think I should call this person back. And I'm like, okay. So she's like, okay, well,
I
you
ended up, yeah, I ended up answering the call. They called again,
first of all, we all on the phone.
and
All
I
of us.
ended up answering it.
Listen, from start to finish, I was sitting at the edge of the bed, really trying to figure out who was pulling my leg. Okay. So Ivory gets on the phone and Ivory's response to everything was, damn, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Like listening to her, what it reminded me of was someone at the door and a Jehovah Witness got them to answer the door and they were kind of like trying to rush the Jehovah Witness out. Right? Like that's what it was giving. So this is the person that's saying that Ivory's getting doxxed. And so Ivory's like, oh yeah, it's crazy, and she's like, I'm upset, da 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 da. And this girl is just like randomly talking about Gypsy and just other stuff, right? And so Ivory says, well, what the hell does that have to do with me? She said, I know, right? I'm
Yo,
sitting
it
there
was.
like,
Now, mind you, I'm creeped out because I don't know this woman. No, I don't know. I don't know her. I did not give her my phone number. Somebody else gave her my phone number. And so here she is on the phone with me, and I'm like, she calls me. I answer the phone, and she's like, who's this? And I'm like, you called me? Who's this? And she's like, is this Ivory? And I'm like, what? And so she's sitting there and she's chatting away. And I'm like, how did you get my number? Oh, the doctor gave it to me. And I'm like, uh huh. And so she's just chatting away. And I'm just like, uh huh. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I don't want to be rude to people. I'm not trying to piss people off. I just want to get off the phone. So I'm just like, mm hmm. And she's going and talking about, I don't even know what, y'all. I don't even know what the hell she was talking about. Just talking. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm like, it's like, 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up with my kids in the morning. So, I gotta get off the phone. And then she goes into another spiel about her family. Like, y'all, she was telling me her entire life story. And I'm just like, dude,
Shuri,
are you
Shuri
the
said she
doctor?
was
Like,
homeless.
y'all, I've never met you a day in my life. Someone who doxed my family gave you my number. And now you're on the phone with me. And I'm like, what?
She tells Ivory she's homeless and she's at a homeless shelter, right? But when Ivory's trying to get off the phone with homegirl, Ivory keeps saying, okay, well, text me or whatever, like trying to get her off the phone. Oh, girl says, yeah, because I'm always home. So I'm sitting there like, how you always home? I thought you said, like, I'm all of this, right? Then she tells Ivory, like, yeah, there's this YouTuber that I watched that, like taught me how to manipulate. So like I watch his stuff and
I
he's
swear to God,
really
that came out of her mouth.
and I'm just sitting there like, did she just say she watches a YouTuber
To
that
learn how to manipulate.
and she that's where she learns, all her stuff. So I'm sitting there like,
Now I'm on the phone going, yeah, so it's like 1:18 now. My kid's got to get up and like, I got to get off the phone. And she's just going on and on. And finally I'm like, listen,
cutting
like
you
I
off
really
mid
got to get to
sentence.
sleep. I'm like, so, and she's like, well, I'll call you in the morning. I'm like, listen, I work, I got appointments, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, so I don't know about calling me. And she's like, well, I could text you all day long. And I'm like, honey, like, I got to get going. I got to get to sleep. So I hang up the phone, right? I told this woman, I got to go to sleep. Mind you, she calls me. Someone just said block. I blocked her from the first number. Then she calls me back from her real phone with her whole name and everything. So I'm like, dude, she's calling me from different numbers. So I finally get off the phone, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Who? I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, how did she get my number? Like, who just randomly? Hey, Ivory. Like, that's not my real name. Like, it was just the weirdest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the doctor gave me your number, and I'm like, so you called it? It was just wild, right? So now I'm sitting there, and me and Nina are still on the phone. I'm really upset, and they're like talking me off the edge, right? Because I'm really upset because I'm like, now people are calling my freaking number, right? So then what happens? I tell this woman, I get off the phone, I tell her I'm going to sleep. She called my phone nonstop until
Relentlessly.
4:30 in the morning. 4:30, like back to back from like 3 and 4 different telephone numbers. Back to back. When I tell you they weren't stopping, to the point where I keep my phone on for emergencies for my kids, okay? I keep my phone on, I use it as my alarm clock. I had to shut my phone off because I'm like, my husband's like, what's happening? Who's calling you? And I'm like trying to explain it to him, and he's getting aggravated. He's trying to sleep. And so I shut the phone off, right? One, I woke up late because I didn't have my alarm. I wake up the next morning at 7:18. It was hello, but my actual name, okay? So now I'm all bugged out because it was like, good morning, hello. And I'm like, so I get on the phone with Nina. Now I've got a million things to do. I have so, like, you know what I mean? I got a lot going on at home. Like, I didn't have time for this. I'm all nervous. I get on the phone with Nina and a couple other people. And I'm like, guys, like, she called me until 4:30 in the morning. And then she is texting me at 7:18 talking about, hey, good morning. Like, how's it going? Like, what are you doing today? Like, oh, that's right. You have appointments. And then, so I'm like, and when I tell you the text messages are coming in, guys, like 3 or 4 a minute, like just nonstop from about 7 in the morning. And again, Grant, after she stopped calling me at 4:30 in the morning, she was texting, but now I'm awake and from 7 in the morning all day long until 6:30 p.m. I got about 4 or 5 text messages
I
coming
reached that
in.
ass on the phone.
Now everybody's like, why
Break
did
is
you?
over and all this crazy stuff. Like I'm like, yo, what is happening, Ivory? What is happening? What? And I'm trying to take it serious, but I'm cackling because she's like, I felt like Ivory. First of all, she told Ivory she was her idol. Okay, that's what said to me.
Let me even get there. When I tell you guys that, and everyone's like, why didn't you block her number? She had multiple numbers. She kept calling me from different, like messaging me from different numbers. I couldn't block them. I mean, there was just no way, right? So when I tell you that she literally is like texting me, and now it's like 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., and I'm like, I'm not trying to piss anybody off because you know what happens on TikTok when you block somebody, right? They go like berserk. But I'm like, guys, like this is really starting to become a little bit like too much. So I can't keep up with the blocking of the phone numbers. So I go onto TikTok, I go onto my backup and I block her. And I'm like, that should give her the hint that like, this isn't, you know, my God, when I tell you that she turned so
You
violent
can't
because
say the unaliving part. Like you could get banned.
when I tell you she turned evil and she's like, well, why did you block me? And I'm like, listen, I don't know you. And I'm like, this is really uncomfortable for me. It's a little excessive. And I'm still trying to be nice because I ain't trying to piss off people who have my address and I'm home with my kids and I'm driving around with my kids and all of that, right? So now I'm trying to play it cool because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to piss people off. Now it's a safety issue, but I'm also not trying to be like harassed. And so I'm like, listen, it was just a little excessive. Like, I don't know you. And when I said that I don't know you,
Oh,
she
the a family lover or something.
she literally was like, what do you mean? Like, you're my family lover. And I'm like, what? What do you mean I'm your family lover? So now I'm sitting there, and this is through text message now. And now I'm still on the phone with poor Nina and everybody else. These poor ladies, man. They should have charged me for the therapy session because it was wild. So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, y'all, she just said something about like I'm her family lover. So I'm like, just stop. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
She
this is
says
enough
so
now.
she says it's over.
Just stop.
Okay.
But then she goes on and she has this story in her mind. You want me to post proof? I'll post proof. She has this story in her mind. We have this relationship. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like she made up this history, this past, this present, this future, talking about like, oh, it's us now, it's me and you against Gypsy, and I can be in your lives. And I'm like, you know what, my husband, and I'm texting back trying to be nice and play it cool, and I'm like, my husband, I don't really think that he wants me to go live right now, and well, that's okay, you can jump in my box, and it just became really
Oh,
wild.
and the a
It's
hundred,
me,
the
you.
dollar. You got to
Oh,
tell
and
her
then
about the dollar.
it's
Yeah.
when she jumped up on my panel. Well, I'm not even gonna say that part. I'm gonna leave that part off. However, she was on my panel once and made $1.47, and she was so excited. So I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I'm like, wait, there is no like when the family lover thing like blew me for a loop, and she's like, it's me and you, like we're best friends, and I'm like, honey, like this is like I'm not trying to be rude. I said, but you know we're like, it's not a we thing. There is no we.
And she said you were manipulative and you were just like Gypsy.
Yes.
And
I'm like,
like
there
you
is
went
no we.
left.
I'm like, it's me. And she's like, but we're friends. Why would you block me? What are you doing this? You're an evil person. You're nothing but a liar and a manipulator. And I'm like, what's happening here? And I'm like, you do understand that this is just a little too much. Like, I'm like, this is not appropriate. The conversation needs to end. And she's like, but it's me and you. We're friends. You know, like, how can you do this to me? And I'm like, we're not friends. I don't even know you. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, like, there is no us thing and like all of that. And so
The idol.
then she sits there and she's like, but you don't understand. You're my idol. So now I'm panicking because I'm like, I'm nobody's idol, guys. Mother Teresa's an idol. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not anybody's idol. I'm, you know, just some woman who gets up here and hangs out and talks to people on TikTok. Like, I'm nobody's idol. Don't try to live your life to be me. Like, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? She's like, but you were friends now. Like, I was once your biggest fan and now we're friends. And I'm like, fan, like, I'm not a celebrity. Like, I'm just Ivory. Like, what's happening here, right? And so the idol thing creeped me out. And then it's like, you know, God did this on purpose. Like, he let the doxer give me your number and now we're friends and you just want to act like you're not my friend. And I'm like, God made the doxer give you my number. So now I'm in my anxiety. And y'all, I'm not even gonna lie. I suffer from anxiety, okay? My anxiety went through the roof. I'm literally like crying into them on the phone. I'm crying to my husband. My husband's like, wait, you love her? This one over here, I'm like, you're being too funny too soon because she's going, Ivory, you got something going on and you don't want to tell me. So then my husband hears that and he's going, do you have something going on that you don't want to tell me?
I was like, Mr. Ivory, please don't make her block us all. Cause I feel like you gonna take her phone and be like, she can't come outside no more. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. So then she's going on and she goes on to like, you know, I'm like, lady, I don't know you. I'm like, you do understand that we're not friends, that I don't know who you are. She's like, you do too. And she sends me a picture of her TikTok. And I'm like, but do you understand? She's like, and then she sends me a picture of my TikTok profile. And I'm like, you do understand that that's not me. I'm like, that's me. And she's like, so you're lying to me. You're not Ivory Rose Nose. And I'm like, wait, listen. I'm like, you do understand that, you know what I mean? Like, while you guys know me as Ivory Rose Nose on TikTok, I'm like, I'm a whole human being with a normal life outside of TikTok. I'm like, I'm not Ivory Rose Nose all the time. I'm like, my life isn't Gypsy Rose. And I have a whole life when I shut that camera off. And so she's like, yes, and I'm in your life and we're friends and doing all that nonsense. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm like, this is not okay. This needs to stop. And I keep telling her, please stop. It's getting excessive. It's getting like, you know what I mean? This is not funny. And she's like, but we're friends. Like, you don't understand. How can you do this to me? You're trying to manipulate me just like Gypsy manipulated Nick. You're just as bad as Gypsy Rose. And I'm sitting there, y'all. I question my entire existence. I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, so now I'm Gypsy Rose. She's trying to tell me that she's autistic and now I'm just as bad as Gypsy because I'm manipulating an autistic woman who she did all of this for me. And I'm like, you did all of what for me? And then it was just, guys, it just went on to be such a crazy conversation. It was just, that was just the beginning. So then I'm like trying to bring it back to not so because she's like, what kind of mother are you to your children? Like, your children, I need to take your kids away from you. Like, all these weird things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not a good mother. You're not. So I'm like, let me try to rewind this. And I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to explain to you that you know me as Ivory Rose Nose on TikTok. I said, but you don't know me as the person I am when I'm not Ivory Rose Nose. And she was like, yes, we're friends. I know exactly who you are. Why are you treating me like this? Like, you don't remember me? And I'm like, remember you from where? And then she's sending me the TikTok screenshot from my live where she commented. And she's like, from here, we've known each other. And I'm like, honey, that was 2 days ago. That was a live from 2 days. I don't know you. So then she's just going on and I'm like, listen, this needs to stop. I'm like, this is becoming harassment. I'm like, and this is not okay. I'm like, it's actually concerning. Well, what's so concerning is that you're an evil person, and just going on and on to the point where she's like, "You're my friend. Just admit it. Admit it. You're my friend. You don't want to admit you're my friend. You want to act like a badass, as Ivy Rose knows, but as you know." And she said my name, and as who you are, you're nothing but an effing coward because you don't want to admit we're friends. And I'm like, and I'm crying on the phone at this point.
And honestly, I'm thinking at this point, she's just pulling
Crying.
my leg. This whole thing is just a joke. I'm like,
I
girl,
started
like,
sending him the screenshots because I'm like, you can't make this up. Like, you can't make this story up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going, And then she's sitting there and she's talking about, because you know my family, and you're gonna do this for my family, and I'm like, honey, who's your family? Like, it was just the craziest thing.
and
And
I'm
then
like,
she
so you sure you don't know her, like at
That's
all?
and so I'm questioning my sanity. Nina's like, "You sure you don't know her?" And I'm like, "I fucking never met this woman ever before. There's been no conversations, no messaging. I didn't even see her in my chat. I've never even seen her on TikTok before the whole doxing thing happened." I'm like, "No, I've never seen her." Well, but God is the reason why that doxer happened. That doxer doxed you to bring me to my friend, and it was just, y'all, it was getting crazy, right? And so now I'm getting really concerned because these text messages, guys, they're coming in 4 or 5 a minute. A minute. My phone is going crazy. Like,
Then
it's just
she said
singing.
she was gonna jump into the river and she couldn't swim.
Then she goes on when I'm like, listen, it's over. And that's why Nina laughing, because I'm like, listen, I don't know what this is, but this is over. And Nina's laughing like it's over. Like, did you have a relationship? I'm like, that's not funny. And she's like, what do you mean it's over? And I'm like, nah, this is over. And I didn't mean a relationship because we didn't have one. I meant the communication was over. And that is all she needed, guys, was me telling her it was over. And she's sitting there like, you're a horrible person. You're evil. You're nothing but an effing coward. What kind of coward? You're gonna run from me? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna run from you. what, what are you?
No,
And then
what's
I'm like
funny? What's the
picking up my
message in the
keys,
chat?
like watching my rearview mirror to make sure nobody's like behind me too long. You want to talk about paranoid, y'all? It was paranoid to the point where I'm like, I'm driving to the police station right now. Right now, I have my 16-year-old in the car. I'm like, Nina, I'm going to the police station. I called my husband. I'm like, I'm just going there now because they're still coming, and I
No,
can't even drive home
before
because I'm
that,
fucking shitting in my pants.
before that, you said to us, well, the only reason why I'm not trying to go to the police station is because I don't know. I don't want to say all these names that are so random that don't sound like real names, and then I'm trying to explain what's happening, and these names are just so random that they're gonna say like, are these people like? How are you talking about? Like, she was like, I
I
just feel
changed
like
my
I'm gonna
mind.
sound crazy,
I
right?
changed. I
And I
changed
was
my
like,
mind. I'm like, you
damn,
know
that is
what?
kind of true.
I'm like, I'm not going to go to the police station. She's like, why? You have to go. And I'm like, and what? Walk into a police station, be like, hi, I'm Ivory Rose Nose. And you don't understand. I got Flawless Nina and canceled. And there's this chick, Gypshit 666. And this person is doxing me. And I got the nymph of satire and blink twice 29. And I'm getting text messages. And I'm like, who the fuck is going to believe me when I walk in there with names like you? Because pink ponies. And like, it was fucking wild. I'm like, they're gonna fucking commit me. Like, it's over the second I walk in there talking about Flawless Nina told me to come in here because Gyp shit is coming after. Like, oh my
But
goodness.
you in there
What?
cackling like I need an inhaler because I cannot. This is just good. Like this. I was like, I'm still stuck on the it's over part. I was like, I just because to see it in the actual text, I was like, I know at this point she's not pulling my leg and it's actually saying no, but it's over. I'm like, Ivory, do you understand that you just told this person that you don't know that it's over? Like what is happening?
Man, my head was all fucked up. I was just trying to keep her calm so she didn't come kill me. Okay? It was the most wild. It was crazy. And I'm only laughing now because the police got to her. And so now it's funny, but you know what I mean? But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna go in there and talking about like gyp shit and flawless Nina and canceled, and I'm just walking into the police station and I'm gonna sound like a raving idiot, right? So, but I'm like, I'm gonna go anyway because this woman's coming to kill me. She's talking about my kids, like she loves. I'm a lover, family lover, and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like she had Ivory Rose passed around the entire family. It was wild. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go. As I'm sitting there, she's texting me talking about, well, I hope you know that just like Gypsy Rose, you're gonna have death on your hands. And I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. Ain't nobody doing nothing to nobody. And she's like, I hope you know I can't swim. I'm standing here on the edge of the river, and it's all your fault. You're gonna have death on your hands because you're not here to save me. And I'm like, whoa, what? I'm like, wait, what? And I wasn't, at this point, she's talking, but I stopped talking like 2 hours prior. Like when she started getting into you're evil, you're just like Gypsy Rose, like you know what I mean? Like all of that nonsense. I stopped responding. So I haven't responded for a couple of hours now. And she was like still going.
And she texts, "Are you okay?"
And then, yeah, and then after I'm an evil bitch and I'm just a coward and Ivory Rose is the badass, but you know, Rebecca's the coward. Like it was, dude, she's gonna be like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Nothing about this is okay. Nothing is about this is okay. So then she starts going right after the are you okay though? She goes right back into the whole, you're gonna have my death on your hands. You're not here to save me. If you care, you'll be here to save me. And I'm like, what? What? I couldn't block her because she was calling me from different numbers. I blocked one number, she called me from another one, to the point where the cop was like, wait, she had how many numbers? I'm like,
I think I was saying, so you kept answering it?
was looking at me like I was a freaking nutbag. Okay. And I'm only laughing now because, again, like I said, the police got her, so I'm good. But
I was like, damn, you know what? You did keep answering it. That's
well,
crazy.
I answered it twice. I answered the first one, and then she called me back, and I answered it the second one because honestly, I thought she was the nymph of satire, right? And so I'm trying to catch her into like.
Oh my gosh.
So the cop goes, yeah, the cop's like, so you answered it a second time? And I'm like, you don't understand. I didn't know she was the nymph of satire. He's like,
it was, man. But honestly, I think the craziest part was that night. Like,
no, the craziest part was I'm on the edge of the river and my death is on your hands because you won't come save me. I'm going to drown myself in the river. And I'm like, wait, my death is on your hands because I can't. Where the fuck are you? Listen, I was like, so you want me to bleep there? It was the wildest thing. Like, come save me, Ivory. You need to come save me. And I'm like, what? What is happening? I don't know whether to laugh or cry at this point. I'm driving with my eyes plastered in the rearview mirror. I got my kid in the car, my 16-year-old. She's like, you can't just leave me home. And I'm like, you can't be home alone. You got to come with me. And it was just.
you did. Man, I was like, man, Ivory will never be able to talk to us again. Like this is it. Like we just should talk to her while we can, because this is bad. I was like, man,
I thought my husband was going to be like, that's it. You can't do TikTok anymore. I'm taking your phone. Like, this is far too much. They're like, Mr. Ivory is not allowing you to hang out with us anymore. We're not allowed to play anymore on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, probably not.
Man, that was.
It was the most. I mean, at the time, guys, it was terrifying.
This happened all within 20 hours. All of this was within 20 hours.
Yes. Yep. It was crazy. Absolutely the most crazy thing. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, at first I thought that she was the doctor, the nymph of satire, the one opening up the pages. And then I'm like, y'all, I think, and I'm talking to them and I'm like, y'all, I don't think she's the one who made the pages. I'm like, I think she's just nuts. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I think, but that's the danger of it though. Like literally, the crazy ones that opened up the page about me literally handed my telephone number and personal information to somebody else who was just as dangerous and crazy. So I'm like, what? How do you get double doxxed and double like tracked down? And it felt like some kind of Lifetime movie
And
where I'm
me,
like,
this
I
is
didn't
why I
want to
don't
pull
talk to
over.
strangers.
Man, I didn't want to pull over. The police station, it was,
Hey,
I had to
Taylor.
park in a parking lot, and then I had to walk like so far, and it was at the end of the night, so it's like everything was, I'm like, I'm not walking over there by myself with my 16-year-old daughter. I had to call my husband, who was at piano lessons, I think, with my little daughter, and I'm like, you need to come here and pick this one up and watch me walk into the building because that's how scared I was. That's how scared I was. I'm like, I'm not even walking into the police station because I've seen movies before. I know how these movies go. Like they'll pop out of a bush, they'll sit there and slit your throat right in the hallway at the police station. Like I've seen these movies. I know how it ends. I was terrified, and then I walk in there and trying to straight face, like I'm trying to explain to this cop who who looked.
And she's
First of
talking
all,
about, can you go on Nympha Satire's page and see if you can see anything that gives it away? Me, like this just can't be
no,
for real.
no, y'all I gotta put this picture in your head, okay? I look half decent now, right? You know, I mean, I had a long day, so I'm not the best looking, but when I tell you yesterday, I was like 2 days without sleep, all right? And I woke up in the morning, I had to run out. I missed my one daughter's appointment. I had appointments, like I literally was like doing all the things while dealing with stalkers on the freaking phone, and it was just wild. When I tell you I looked like who did it and ran. My hair was a hot mess. I don't I you know, I just had some cut off jeans and a freaking t-shirt on and some flip-flops, and I just looked no makeup, and like it was just wild. You know what I mean? I didn't do I just looked like I look like a crackhead. Okay? I look like an absolute crackhead. So now here I am walking around all day, you know, in different places. I'm in offices talking about, you know, telling them what's going on. People are hearing me going like, you know what I mean? Talking about freaking, she's telling me I'm her lover. And, you know, she's sitting there saying Ivory Rose and it was just, I felt like a nutcase. So now I still look a hot mess. I'm exhausted. I got the black rings under my eyes. I walk into the police station, and here's this cute little, like, the poor guy, his first pube is only 2 days old, right? Poor guy, brand new off the conveyor belt. Like, he comes out there, ma'am, how can I help you? And he's looking at me. So I sit down and I try to explain to him how I'm
It definitely sounded crazy as hell.
fucking nuts, dude. It sounded nuts. I'm like, listen, I'm a content creator. I do some content on TikTok and you know other platforms. I'm like, you know, I go by Ivory Rose Nose, and he's like, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, but so there's this nymph of satire. He's like, the what? I'm gonna just tell you, I would have locked me up. I would have locked me up, okay? I would have locked me up. I'm like, I'm like,
Meanwhile, I'm saying to Ivory, damn, you know what should have gave it away is the 666 in that
that's what
in
I'm
that profile picture. That should have gave it away. We should have known it. I don't
yes,
know how we
and
missed
here
that.
I am sticking up for the girl because the freaking the first doxer is like harassing her, and I'm feeling bad that she's getting harassed because of me. So I'm making videos like stop harassing her. Meanwhile,
So I
the
guess she
woman
felt like
who
she was
did
the
this
lover
entire
because she was
life with me
protecting her.
behind the scenes that I didn't know about. No, it was the most insane crap that I'm sitting there, I'm telling this cop, I'm like, there's the nymph of satire, and he stops me, he goes, ma'am, back up. The nymph of who? And I'm like, the nymph of satire. I'm like, listen, let me start from the beginning. And he's like, please do. And I'm like, I'm like, well, there's Gypshit 666, and he's like, the fuck? And he's looking. We're in this big room with all, like the whole room is like got the glass windows, and we're sitting at this big conference table. And there's only one other cop, the dispatcher, or like the woman, the secretary, up at the in the hallway. and you can see her through the glass, and he just keeps looking at, giving her the look like, we got one, Lawrence, we got one.
Like, bring the straight jacket in and go on and
And
take
I'm
it to the
sitting
psych
there,
unit.
and I'm ready. I'm trying to text my husband, don't leave the parking lot, just in case they need someone to stick up for me, because they might not let me leave. And so I'm gonna start from the beginning. He's like, okay, please do. I'm like, so there's Jib shit 666. And he's like, what? And I'm like, listen, I'm a page. And he's like, you're a page? And I'm like, oh, I'm a page. I'm like, and somebody doxed me and put my information out there. But then the doxer gave my telephone number to another psycho. And now this psycho has a whole like life with me that I never had. And he's like, what?
Uh,
I'm like, and now she's trying to jump in the river because I won't go save her. So I'm killing her because I'm not there to save her. And he's like, Nam, what? So and I just started showing him pages. I'm flicking through TikTok like a squirrel. Oh my god. I am. I'm flicking through TikTok trying to show satire pages and Jib shit 666. And I'm like, look, this is who this is. And I'm on the phone with this one. And it was just, the guy was just like, wait, so let me get this straight. So then there was a doxer who put out your home. And I'm like, yes. And I'm giving him the page and they're running all the pages. And he's like, okay, give me those. And then I'm like, but then he's like, so there was 2 doxers? And I'm like, yeah, there were 2 stalkers. I'm like, so the first one was a doxer. I said the doxer doxed my information to a stalker.
and
And he's
we're
like,
still sitting on the phone like, so do we know if wait, is that really the doxer or was this the wait, I don't know. I don't
that's
know.
what at first I thought that Gyp shit was just trying to play like she wasn't the doxer and that she was the nymph of satire, right? But then I'm like, nah, she's really just crazy because like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just the wildest thing. She's like, no, they told me it was them. You had to hear the stories. And so I'm like trying to explain to this cop, and I'm like, I don't, there was a doxer, but then the doxer doxed my information to a stalker, and now the stalker is sitting there saying that I'm the reason she's about to go in the river and she can't swim, and I'm doing all this, and I'm like, listen, if you need witnesses, I got canceled on the phone, I got, I got pink
And she says,
I got flawless Nina. And he's like, what?
and Ivory says, if someone said that you were their idol, what would you do? I said, I would say, I feel bad for you if I'm your idol. She goes,
Well,
what?
that's what I'm saying. When you're sitting there, like, you don't understand, you're my idol, and I'm like, my idol, like Mahatma Gandhi is an idol. Mother Teresa's an idol. Ivory Rose Nose is just a mom with 10 kids. She ain't no idol. Like, it's just, I'm like, what? It was just this. Listen, and then at some point in that conversation, it was like, it was me and her against Gypsy. It was like, we got to get her down. We got to take her down. It's just me and you now. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, because we're going to go get her. And I'm like, listen, I may not like Gypsy, but I ain't going to get nobody. Like, I'll sit there and talk about her all day long. I'm like, but we ain't playing this game. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't going to get nobody. There is no relationship. Yeah, like, you pass me around like a rag doll to your family as their lover. Like, this is all wild crap. And then here I am not knowing what to say, talking about that's it, this is over. And then Nina can't stop laughing now. So I'm like, what is happening?
It was it's
She's like,
over for
don't
me.
tell
Like,
her it's
I could
over.
not.
She's like,
I said,
Ivory, don't tell her it's over because then you're making it seem like there was a relationship. And I'm like, it's over, but there was no relationship. Like,
and I'm like,
like, I'm over. I don't mean that. I mean, it's not a relationship. I mean, it's over the texting. And I felt crazy. Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there. I'm trying to be as normal as possible because I am really just like putting everything together in my head. And I'm like, see, this is why I don't talk to strangers. This is why I don't talk to strangers. Like,
Really. Really, and I remember being terrified. When I tell you my fingerprints are like wedged into my steering wheel, that's how I was white knuckling it. I was like, my daughter's like, what's going on? And I'm like, You just I don't know what's going on, and I can't read my text messages. I got my 16-year-old screenshotting them, sending them to Nina so she can read them out loud to me. But then I'm like, you got to stop because my kid's sitting here, and my daughter's like, Mom, why did this woman's really stalking you? She's like, she just sent six more. And I'm like, it was wild. It was the craziest, insane. I was, first of all, I was terrified because here she is telling me she's in Florida, but meanwhile, she knows information about me that she shouldn't. So I'm like, is she down the block? Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, I'm like, is she following me? Does she see me right now? And she was saying stuff like that. Like, I see you. It was
No,
the
even at
craziest.
night, you were like, my
Yeah.
dog's barking. Who's outside? You, I was
No.
like, oh my gosh, like, wait, just, I don't know. She, because as soon as she got off the phone, it was like, first of all, the phone call lasted at least what 45. Every time Ivory tried to get off the phone, she over talked her and changed the subject. Like
At this point, I knew she was a stalker, so I'm not trying to piss off the stalker now, right? I'm not trying to make her mad at me, right? Because I'm like, she's coming for me. So I'm like trying to be really nice, like, no, yeah, I get it. Like, but it's late. Like, I got to get going. We can continue this conversation another time. And, she's sitting there going on and on about these stories. And I'm just like, yep, yeah, wow, that's crazy. Oh, no way. And it was just like, it was generic answers like that. That's what I kept doing. Like, no, really, whoa. Yeah, that's crazy. And, yeah, it was just so, it was obvious that I didn't want to be on the phone with her. It was obvious that I wasn't listening to her. It was so obvious, and she just kept rambling on. And I'm like trying to be nice. I'm like, please don't piss off the freaking stalker. And it was just every time I
I
tried. Now,
really wanted to just get off the phone and crash out because I
now
just didn't.
Nina and them, they're muted, but they're on the call with me because I have them on they're on the line as well. She didn't know that. And here Nina's texting me going, you better hang up that phone because I'm about to crash out. And I'm like, I'm not trying to piss off the stalker lady.
No, I'm literally like, I literally hung up the phone and tried to call her back because she's texting me help. So I'm like, well, the only way I know how to help is to hang up and call her back so that the line is ringing. And
Damn,
she
damn,
answers the
crazy my
phone and
person.
merges the call again. And I'm like, holy, I
Because
can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore.
so am I gonna just hang up on a stalker though? I mean, at that point, like it was me and her. Like it was me and her. We're gonna take on TikTok and take on the world and bring Gypsy down and
She
like
said, my husband is probably not going to let me, like, go live for a little bit. Like, I probably won't, be able to, like, I probably won't be on here. She was like, well, no, if that's the case, I could go live and you could just hop in my box.
yeah, it was the craziest. It was, yeah,
I,
it was nuts. She's like, because I made $1.47, and I'm like, I'll cut you a check right now to get the fuck off the phone and leave me alone. I'm not even playing. Like, what is happening here? Like, what do you want from me? You want money? You want to pass me around your family like a rag doll? What is happening?
he was like, and did you know that in Gypsy's book, she said this?
Oh, she was trying to
And
teach me
Ivory
the
goes,
Gypsy Rose case.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I just
And
kept
I'm
saying,
like, wait,
I just kept saying, yeah, yeah, that's crazy, over and over again, because she thought I was answering her, but I'm in my mind, I'm going, this is fucking crazy. Let me tell you about Gypsy, and she's gonna go back and try and teach me about Gypsy, and I'm like, no, is she really, really? Did she say that? Does she do that? Oh, she did that to Nick, and I'm like, please God, get me off this phone call. But again, not trying to piss off the stalker who it was weird because on TikTok she messaged me and said she was messaging me all day. And this is the night before, like the day before yesterday. And all day long she was messaging me on TikTok, and I wasn't answering it. It was just excessive. And so if you message me excessively like that, you're not getting a reply. And so, but then all of a sudden she was like, you know, can I call you? And so really I was like, I'm not doing that. And so I was, you know what I mean? I just ignored it. And literally as I'm on the phone with the girls, she called me, and that's what made me think originally she was the nymph of satire. Okay, because I'm like, can I have your number? I'm gonna call you. I don't answer, and then lo and behold, that's what made me say to Nina, Nina, I think this is the doxer. Because I'm like, she said she
And
wanted my number to
honestly,
call
I
me, but
thought
now
she was joking because this person just got your number. They call, you answer the phone, and they're talking to you like it's a regular day, like you gave them your number 8 months ago. Like, I couldn't wrap my mind around how it crosses over from a doxer gave me your number to, yeah, girl, you my friend. Like, I couldn't, like, I was like, is there's a disconnect. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, how did it cross over?
yeah, it went from, oh, the doctor gave me its number to she had an entire life for us planned out. She had whole history for us, like all of it. It was the craziest thing. And
And
then I had
I'm telling you, the craziest part is when she kept saying Ivory was manipulative, because I was like, Ivory, you said all of maybe 5 to 10 words in that entire phone call. So I'm trying to understand where you didn't say enough to
be
even be
manipulative.
misconstrued.
Yeah. It was
Meanwhile, you told me first of all, listen, whoever is that guy on YouTube that she learned how to manipulate through, she
and
said
that's
his name, but I don't remember. She
she was
need
telling me that in a phone call because Gypsy doesn't understand. I watch this guy on YouTube who teaches me how to manipulate. And I'm like, what?
well, she got a master's degree in that class, okay?
She sure did. She sure did. Y'all, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then I had to hand my phone over to the cop because he's like, "Can I go through your phone? Can I look at your messages? Like, can I?" Because again, she was messaging me from more than one number. So handed my phone over. He's like, "Can you pull up TikTok? Can you pull up like your text messages?" And I'm like, "Here you go." I handed him my phone, no problem. However, I need you all to remember. He's like, "I'm a true crime content creator, right? So, can you imagine my Google search? Can y'all imagine the stuff that I message back and forth to people about content? Okay? It's can you just imagine what those text messages are like? No, it was 17 times she stabbed him in the back and then slit his
Not
neck
only that, we
open.
were just talking about that guy, the guy who unalives the bad people in the
We were
movie,
having
the
a
show.
conversation about Dexter. We were having a conversation about
Yeah.
Dexter,
So like
the show.
it didn't read well at all. Like, it did not read
Well,
well.
he wanted to take my phone just to make sure, like, they checked my phone to make sure, like, I had no prior communications with her, like, make sure, like, who are these numbers, and you know what I mean, to see what was going on. And they were like, do you mind? And I was like, absolutely not. And I was like, you could do whatever you want with the phone, like, here you go. And then I'm sitting there going, yep, we sure were talking about how Dexter, how they sit there and they murder it and in his basement, but then he's a cop during the day. And then I'm sitting there and messaging about how no, it was 17 times she was stabbed in the
And
back,
Diddy,
hit in the back of the head twice. And then the Diddy text messages. And I'm like, y'all, we're all going to jail and I'm going to a psych unit right now. Right now. Because I'm like, what the hell is happening? It was the craziest thing. So then they go and they write, they're writing this report. And he's like, I got to go pull IP addresses. And he's doing all that stuff, right? And so I'm like, that's fine. And he's like, the only thing, he's like, I found this really, really weird. And I explained to him, I'm like, I'm a nurse. They put up my LinkedIn, like, because it wasn't just her that I was talking about. It was the whole situation. And so, like, he's like, I got to pull IP addresses. We got to make phone calls. Like, I got to pull, like, he was, like, looking through the pages or whatever and doing all that nonsense. And then
she talks about she was gonna lie herself. Uh, he says to her, "Aren't you a mandated reporter?" And she
I
goes,
said,
"Well,
sure.
aren't you?"
I'm like, isn't this me reporting it? I swear to God, he said to me, he goes, ma'am, if she told you she was going to kill yourself if you don't save her, aren't you just told me you were a nurse, right? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, aren't you a mandated reporter? I said, yes.
Are you the police or
Aren't
no?
you? I'm like, aren't I reporting it? Isn't this who I'm supposed to report it to? And he straight faced the child, straight faced, looked me in the face and goes, no, you can't report it to me. And I'm like, you want to talk about questioning your sanity? I'm like, who do you want me to tell? God? Like, you want me to go to confession, to church? Like, who am I reporting it to? He's like, you got to call the state she lives in. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what? And he's like, I mean, I could take care of the rest of this. He's like, but yeah, you're a mandated reporter. You got to report this. And I'm like, sir, I'm reporting it. I'm telling you all. I'm handing you the phone. You're literally like taking screenshots and sending them to yourself. Like, what's happening here? And he's like, you can't report it to me. And I'm like, well, who do you want me to report it to? Like, who? You, the nymph of satire? Like, who the fuck am I reporting this shit to? And he's like, you got to call the state in which she resides. And I'm like, well, can't you do that? Like, we're just sitting here.
First of all, we don't even know for sure that this is the state that
Yes.
she lives in. But what makes it crazy is she called her from like these internet numbers, but then she finally gave her real called her from her real number because I guess that's when she thought they were friends.
It's probably because I blocked the first 45 that she was the internet numbers. And I think that she thought if I saw like a real number, I don't know, but it was crazy. So then I'm telling the guy, and I'm like, okay, so what do I gotta do to report it? And he's like, well, when we're done here, you're gonna have to call that state. And I'm like, is this really happening? So he goes in, he's taking all this information down, he's doing the whole report, right? And so I have my phone back in my hands at this time, right? I don't know, they took some machine too. And then I have the phone back in my hand, and I literally texted my husband, and I was like, they're making me call, and I told him the state. And he's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, they said that I'm a mandated reporter. And he's like, what? And
Well,
I'm like,
no. The gag is homegirl had called the police the night before.
yes, when I was talking to the man.
Yeah, that really.
Now, hours of being in this room, right? Hours of being in this room talking to this guy, feeling like a freaking crackhead, looking like a crackhead, questioning everything I thought to be normal in life, right? I leave, and now he's like, please make sure you report it because, again, you're a mandated reporter. And I'm like, first of all, that was 2.5 hours ago when she sent that message, because she was still sending the messages as I was sitting there with the police, okay? I'm like, that was 2.5 hours ago, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure if she was going to do it, she's gone. At this point, I'm not laughing. It's not funny, but I'm like, you just made me wait 2.5 hours. Like, if she did it, she did it. It's like, I don't know what you want me to say. Man. So then I have to sit there. I'm sitting in a parking lot. Actually, I'm driving home. And I'm like, trying to talk to people. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what just happened. Then I had to pull over in a freaking grocery store parking lot because I'm like, let me call in case she's dangling on the edge of the riverbank, right? And so I get on the phone with the state, who was actually very more helpful than, this state was just, the guy was weird. And I call and I have to explain it all over again. I'm like, listen, lady, there's gyp shit, and this is what's happening, and so
You're
it
like,
was.
oh yeah, she called last night.
So she's like, "Do you have her real name?" And so she does on her voicemail, and I told them everything I knew about her. You know what I mean? And I explained the situation to her. So she's like, "So you went to the cops, and the cops told you to come to the cops?" I'm like, "Exactly." And so she was like, "Can I have the number and the name?" And she's like, "Oh, that number is associated with this name." And I'm like, "Yeah, I figured it was. He told me it was." And then she was like, yeah, because she called here 2 days ago. She called here, what did she, yesterday or 2 days ago? And I'm like, oh, she did? And I'm like, wait, what's happening? What? I'm like, so she called the police? She goes, yeah, we have a call coming in from this number 2 days ago. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, well, I don't know what to tell you, but she's dangling on the edge of a riverbank. Like, it's not funny. I'm not trying to make fun of that at all. But however, everything I was questioning everything in life right at that point.
Yeah, but she was still posting. That was the part that was funny.
It was like 2 3 hours later. I didn't know she was posting. So then she was like, okay, do me a favor. You want to talk about PTSD, man, and anxiety. She was like, ma'am, we're going to have to call you back. Like, we might have to call you back. When we call you back, it could come from the so and so police department, or it could be a blocked call or a restricted call. Please answer it. I'm like, ma'am, I just got doxxed and stalked all in a matter of 24 hours. Can you please try not to block it? Because I'm a little nervous now answering anybody who doesn't have a telephone number. So she started, she's laughing. She's like, okay, okay. So then I get home and
No, you get on the phone with us and you
I'm on the
say
phone with you, and they
she
call.
called the police. I said she called the police. She said yeah, like she called the police and made a report. I said so the
Not about
doctor
me.
called the police. She
Not
said
about
yeah.
me.
I said that's wild.
Yeah. So then they call me back. The lady calls me back and she's like, do me a favor. She's like, it's not like you see in the movies. And I'm like, oh, this is all like I see in the movies. And she was like, but it's not, because I need to ping her location and that's not legal. I can't just ping it for any reason. I need probable cause. She's like, can you send me the messages? And I'm like, if the one police station just called the other police station, I wouldn't be sitting here like a nutcase panicking that someone's still out there to get me because y'all haven't found her yet. Okay? So I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'll do it right now. And so I send her the messages, and then she messaged me back, and she was like, okay, or whatever. But it was just it was just freaking insane.
If you were
It
a
was,
fly on the wall, that's all I can tell
man,
you. Is that whole conversation was so unhinged.
it was crazy. It was crazy. I was terrified. I was
But in
like,
between her being terrified, she's
everything,
Ivory's
man,
laughing. Then she's
everything.
like, "Well, I'm nervous," and I'm like, I'm still wondering, like, is this a joke? Like, who's playing the joke on this?
Man, that's,
And
first of
is
all,
Ivory in on the joke? Because I feel like right now I'm getting played. Because this is just not making sense.
that's exactly what I was thinking, because I'm like, there's no way that I got doxxed. And they told me that the doxer and this person are they were not the same person. So I'm like, you mean to tell me that I got doxxed and then the doxer put my information in the hands of a stalker? And he said, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, what are the odds of that happening? He goes, that's exactly what I mean about the dangers of like doxing people. Not only did I get doxed, you put my information right into the hands of someone who is extremely dangerous.
So Ivory
Extremely.
goes, well, I guess it was just kind of like the right place at the right time kind of thing. I said, no, that's the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like at first, I was questioning you want to talk about like not trusting. It was the craziest. I'm like, is here I am sticking up for this girl. Is she the doxer? You know what I mean? Because then she's sitting there talking about I saved you. I saved you. And I'm like, you did what? She was like, I saved you. I helped you. I saved you. And now you're an evil bitch like Gypsy Rose. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, what is happening? It was crazy. I'm sure that they have all those screenshots. They went through my messages. They took my phone. I don't know what they did to it. I don't know what they downloaded or whatever, what they did to it, and what they pulled from my phone. However, I am sure they're all sitting there laughing at screenshots of my text messages to people like Nina about the Dexter and the Gypsy and the Diddy stuff. And it has no context, doesn't say Diddy, it doesn't say Dexter. So yeah, all of the text messages that they're probably just sitting there laughing like, this lady's a little nuts, a little unhinged. Because again, the messages were, it was just crazy, man. I am definitely on some kind of watch list now. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And me, Ivory, do not answer the phone for no more strangers, please. And thank you.
Well, I mean, I don't know strangers have my telephone number. Like, I'm not sitting there thinking that doxers and like people are going to be calling me. Like, who does that? Like, who? What the hell? But when I saw that state, and I'm on the phone with Nina, and she just sent me that TikTok message, and I'm like, there's no way. It just happens to be her state. It didn't. This one didn't have a name. It was just a state because, again, she used the app at first. I'm like, Nina, there's no freaking way that this is her because I didn't give her my number. I did not give her my number.
That's why I
And
thought
she's
you
like,
were
that's
pranking me.
not. And I'm like, I'm going to answer this. And I answered it. And sure enough, I get back on the phone with Nina and I'm like, it was her. And she was like, no, it wasn't. I'm like, I swear to God. And she was like, how'd she get your number? And I'm like, apparently the nymph gave it to her.
And I'm like, what?
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, listen, she's calling me back. I'm going to merge you in. And yeah, it was the crazy, guys. It was like 20 hours, all of this shit went down. Police, states, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I love you so
like
much.
signing papers, questioning my sanity. This guy's looking at me. This young man is looking at me like, you're a TikTok content creator. You're a YouTube, like, you're a content creator. And I'm like, I swear I don't look like this all the time. I'm not a crackhead. I'm not making this up. This is really happening. And if it wasn't, I think he would have questioned me more if my phone wasn't still dinging with the unhinged messages as he's sitting there. That's probably what saved me from the white jacket. Okay,
No, seriously.
yeah, that because I was so anxious and nervous and scared and like had all these emotions. I know that I was babbling. I wasn't thinking straight. And so I walked in there and like just the way I blurted it out, he was just like, huh? You know what I mean? What?
And mind you, she's on the phone with her, and homegirl said, I'm a big fan. Like, I've been watching you for a long time. I'm like really a big fan.
I
Um,
love
I
seeing
mean,
her.
you're not like a big creator, but you know, you. I'm like, wait, what?
She was like, you know, you're a great creator. Like you know what I mean? You know, you're a big creator. I mean, not a big creator, but you're a big creator. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, definitely. But I was like, but I'm not like you're not actually speaking to Ivory Rose Nose. Like I know it sounds weird, but I'm like, I'm a whole person outside of TikTok. And then she wasn't understanding. That's what scared me the most was she was not understanding the fact that I was actually a human. Like I had a whole life that was not content in real
She,
life.
homegirl said, well, so I made $1.27. Do you know how I'm supposed? How
47.
do I
Don't knock her
transfer
off for
that to my
47.
account? Like, how do I transfer that to my account?
Asking me how to transfer the $1.47 to the account. And I'm like, honey, I'll give you $50 if you get off the phone with me and lose my number.
And I'm texting them in the chat, like she said $1.27 and asked how to transfer it into the account. Is this for real? Like, which one of y'all are playing with me?
Yeah. It was crazy. She's like, I'm like, my husband's not gonna let me go live anymore. Well, you can just hop in my box. Like, you could just go get me. Like, I think I only need a couple of hundred more followers. You could just go get me some followers, and then you can hop up in my panel. I'm like, just like I picked them out of a bag or something. Like, hey, y'all, come on. Someone needs some followers. Like, I just have them in my pocket. Like, it was the weirdest conversation, y'all. It was crazy.
And the whole time she sounded like she was watching TV. Like, and she was giving very generic responses.
Man, it was wild.
And the whole time Ivory goes, she said that I was a manipulator. How am I manipulating her? I said, girl, do you not remember she said she watched that guy on YouTube and learned how to manipulate?
She was manipulating me and she was playing mind game. It was wild. It was just everything I questioned to be the truth was like, what is happening? It was just, honestly, it's funny now. Like I look back and I'm laughing and it's funny now However, when I was going through it, it was absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So,
And the funny thing was, Ivy's like, so what would you do? I said, girl, I would have shut off my phone and took a nap. I just don't.
I did shut off my phone, and then when I turned it back on, it just started. Just started again. It was crazy, crazy, absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. I did. I shut my phone off when she didn't stop, and then woke up the next morning, had to turn my phone back on, and still going, still going, still going. I was like, what? I got a wake up call, like a wake up text message. Hey, good morning. Said my name over and over and over again, like my real name. And I'm like, and then she would call me Ivory Rose. And I'm like, does she not realize that we're the same person? Like, I don't know if she thought that Ivory Rose knows and me were two different people. And it was weird because it was like she would like call me my regular name and then start up another conversation and then call me Ivory Rose. So like are we having two conversations with two people? Like I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't make any sense of it. And yeah, at least she said good morning. Well, that was after the 6 calls in the morning.
At least we know she's not that damn rude.
Yeah. It was crazy,
I was
guys.
like, I just really would like to know, how do you just call someone and say, yeah, you got docs, but anyways, let's just. It's nice to meet you. It's
She's
great
not
that we're
allowed to
friends now.
know. It was just yeah, guys. It was. I mean, it's funny now just because it's like, but the seriousness of it though, it was scary while it was happening. It was terrifying. It made me question everything. I was like, people were calling me, and I'm like, Meanwhile, I still get other harassing text messages. I got that Texas prison calls me 5 times a day, every
And
day.
calling,
The other
yeah.
one's issues, like, so I still get, you know what I mean, like prank calls from the other one. So it's like, so I'm on the phone with the police station when I had to call the other state, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I'm texting Nina because I'm like, I'm on the phone with so and so's police station. I've got Texas jail calling me, which is a prank call. It's a prank app or whatever. But I'm like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm literally screenshotting it because it says the police station I'm on the phone with, like police station, and then underneath it you could see that the incoming call was Texas prison.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I get those calls all the time. It's just been so weird.
I do. I do get them because ever since the other one wants to sit there and like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not the first person that pranks me and stalks me. Like, I get them all the time. So, like, you know what I mean? But I
She's
know
like,
that
yeah, it's Wednesday.
like you call me 5 times a day. I get on. I know you can hear me because I know the app my kids use it. You just want to hear my voice. So I'm like, yeah, it's still me. And I hang up the phone, like, you know what I mean? Or I just let it ring and it goes to voicemail. Like, it's the most wild thing. Like, who calls somebody 5 times a day just to hear their voice? Like, that's crazy. Crazy. Just wild. Wild. But I'm sitting there like, how many stalkers can I have at once? I got Texas prison calling me, and I know who that is. I got doxers and a whole stalker on the phone with the police station. Three at once? I was literally like, what is happening right now? I got pages going off. I'm on the phone with one. I've got the others calling in from an app. Like, it was just, guys, it gets crazy. And that's what makes it so dangerous, though. Like, it makes it so dangerous. I look at your pictures all day in the dark corner while I hug my knees and rock back and forth. Magda's so funny. Magda's so funny. But yeah, honestly, I'm sitting there and I'm like, honestly, I don't, and I want to say this to my mods too. If you guys want to come in under a backup account, or if you guys feel like you want to put your mod status on hold for a while, like I will not take that as an insult. I will not take that. I completely understand. Like, if you just don't want to show up to the lives for a while, guys, that is okay with me. You guys know how I am with that. Like, you guys do whatever you want, you're wherever you want. Nobody's mandated to be in here ever under any circumstances. But if it does make anyone feel uncomfortable, I completely understand. If you go MIA, there's no hurt feelings. I get it because you know what I mean. Like literally, like followers are being targeted. Like it's just insane. It's insane. You know, so like I get. I don't want anyone to feel like they ever have to explain or because that's definitely not a thing. You know what I mean? Because it's yeah. After that, like that's not very Ivory Rose Gotti of me, for real. Um, yeah, it was just crazy, guys. It was, and then like this morning, like you know, it was like a debrief with everyone. Like we had, like everyone was on a phone call, and it was just like going through. And I think they were doing it for me just to go through everything that happened in the last day or two. And so we were just like going through it, like they were just letting me vent. Nina could not stop laughing the entire conversation.
'Cause it was
She was just like, I am so glad this is over because I need to laugh now. Cracking up laughing. She's like, Ivory, you told her it was over.
that stuck with me. And the part where she was like, "Well, what does it have to do with me?" And she was like, "I know, right?" And I'm just sitting there like, "Yo, this is so unhinged."
Man, I can't. It was the whole, you're the lover for my family. And I'm like, the lover for your family? Like, do y'all pass me around like a rag
Mind you,
doll?
I'm in the post office on speaker because I couldn't take it off because we're on Messenger and somebody was sharing the screen. So this whole thing's on speaker while I'm in the post office, like my regular neighborhood post office.
Man, it was insane. I will, you want to, listen, I don't, you want to talk about triggers? Freak Gypsy Rose, you want to talk about triggers? I jump now. I'm ready to medicate myself every time my phone rings. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I still drive, like even today, I was out and about with my kids. I had a lot of stuff to do. I'm still watching in my rear view mirror because I'm like, well, who else did they give my phone number to? Who else did they get? Who's got my address? When I tell you that I've never been so paranoid and on edge in my life, and I'm not that person. I'm that person like, you know what I mean? I'll walk right up to you and listen. If I'm going to go down, like, you know what I mean? I am not like a scared person. But, I'm sitting there driving with my kids and I'm like, somebody watching me? Like, who else got my information? Who else took that and is going to do something with it? Like, I've been so on edge lately. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. My husband's like, because I try, I think everyone should talk to a therapist all the time. I think it's healthy, but my husband's like, you should probably talk to your therapist. And I'm like, I can't tell this to my therapist. And he's like, I'm like,
Yeah, they gonna be
she'll
like,
fucking lock me up and throw away the key. I am not saying all of this to my therapist because it just sounds crazy. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's wild. I'm like, I'm not, no, I'm not going to tell a psychiatrist that, or a psychologist that, like, listen, it all started with the nymph satire. Fuck no. I'm not going through that again. Never again. Nope. Just up the meds and trust me is what I'm going to say to her. Just up them for a couple of days because yeah, my anxiety is through the roof. I jump. I hear my phone ring. I jump when I hear my dogs bark. Like
no, literally, you were literally every time your dog would bark, she's like, "Who's outside?"
my dogs, because you guys never hear my dogs bark. My dogs don't bark. They're Shiba Inu. They don't bark at anything until somebody's on the property. They bark at people on the property. That's what they bark at. Sometimes my female dog will bark at like possum or like, animals out in the back. So that had to have been what she was barking at last night. She must have saw a possum or something. But
But
literally
it
my
was kind of the last couple of nights, though.
I'm like, Nina, my dog's barking. My dog's barking. Because you guys got to remember now, my dogs woke me up barking when somebody was trying to break into my house 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, so that actually happened as well. And then I said that to the cop too, and I'm like, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I had to call 911 last week, or you know what I mean, 2 weeks ago, because there were two guys and trying to break into my house. Like when I tell you that I am so effing paranoid right now, I'm literally sitting there going like, I'm talking fast because my husband's upstairs in the bedroom sleeping. I know he's already sleeping. I was like, please don't go to bed without me. because I'm the only one awake downstairs in the office, and now I'm ready to just run upstairs because I feel uncomfortable to being down here. And yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's like wild. I locked my husband out of the house before by accident. I didn't know he went to the store, and so I locked my door and I was sitting in my office. I have a window right here, which is like right to the front of my house, and my window's open, and I'm just sitting here. And right before we went on live, I was doing some stuff, and my husband's like, "Hun, can you open the door? You locked me out." And I freaked the hell out. I like jumped. I was like, "Don't listen. We're being stalked, and you're gonna come pop your head in the office window." So yeah, that's how on edge I've been, just because of everything that's happened in the last few weeks. It's just crazy. It's just so unsettling.
And everybody needs a Valium now.
Man, you don't even know. I am hopping. I am taking a ride on the. We're right in the Ativan. Yep, sure am. Because I'm like, man, I can't. My nerves are shot. Man, anything, a loud noise, like I'm just like, what is that? With the phone ringing, yeah. Now my husband keeps his phone off because I'm like, I'm shutting that shit off at night. I don't need my phone ringing and being scared, and like it was wild. Do you carry anything for self-defense in case? So I do carry, and it is an open carry. I do not have a concealed carry license. I used to use it just for work. If I drive by myself, I will keep it on my seat. However, I don't take it with me when I'm with children, just because, you know what I mean? Like I don't want my kids to see them. You know what I mean? So only when I'm by myself.
You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Yeah, yeah. Listen. So I do have pepper spray in my car, thanks to someone. But yeah, I keep pepper spray in my car too. So that and a bat.
Not a
Yeah,
bad
man.
girl.
Lumi, it's been just these last 2 weeks with the whole break in, and you know what I mean? Just like these last 2 weeks, everything's just been really wild. Like the prank calls that I was getting even before the whole satire thing. The prank calls started amping up and they were getting like more and more. So on top of them, there's other prank callers, and I'm getting emails and my name's being put on. Oh, they got this loan and you got that loan and you requested this, and you know what I mean? Like literally, like all of these things are coming. Like it's just crazy. It's crazy. I'm sitting here going like, yeah, it's just been wild. So
Yeah,
that's.
it's
I'm
definitely
glad.
wild.
Let them know. Let them know. I couldn't care any less. So yeah, but I mean, again, I'm sure that this will go away. The whole uneasy thing. I just need a couple of days to like level myself out because I'm not usually a paranoid person. I'm not really, you know what I mean. And so I'm sure I just need to come off of this like whirlwind of chaos and nonsense, just to get back to feeling like normal a little bit. But yeah, I can't wait because I'm done. So listen, y'all. The next time he's want to dox me, can we like not give the doxing information to one at a time? One at a time. I can only handle one at a time. Just say one at a time. And listen, if you are watching me right now and you think we have some kind of relationship, stop and talk to somebody. I'm gonna say that.
But not you.
I am not Lord, I am not a therapist either. Yeah, please. So there's nothing I can do for you other than, apparently you got to be a mandated employee in the state that they're in, which is the. How do you look at a police officer and they go, oh, "You're a nurse, right?" Yeah. Well, you're a mandated reporter. And I'm like, you want to talk about questioning your sanity? And I'm like, isn't that what I just did? Like, who are you expecting me to report it to? Thank you, Krista. Who are you expecting me to report it to? Aren't you the police? Like, I'm like,
That's
you
why
the
I
one with
came
the
here.
badge, buddy. So yeah, it was crazy. It was just, and Nina, she's been laughing all day long. Every time, like we bring something up or she hears the name, she just cracks up laughing. It's
Wait, what
just,
did you say earlier? And I was like, Oh, so okay, one of our friends was mailing her something, right? And I said, "Well, good thing you
She
you don't
goes,
have to ask. You don't have to ask. She don't have to ask you for your address." I said, "Is that too soon? Too soon? Too soon?"
yeah, somebody was going to mail me something, and and I'll get into the whole how my PO box was closed on me. That's a whole nother story for another day. So my PO box is no longer because that was closed, not by me. But anyway, a friend was gonna mail me something, and she's like,
Well, we know who did it, and it's been
yeah,
investigated.
she was like, yeah, she was like, I don't know if you want me to send this to your PO box or I don't have your address, but I don't want to ask you for it. And there's Nina going, just go to the nymph of satire. She'll give it to you. And then she's like, I'm sorry, is it too soon? And I'm like, Nina has been cracking herself up all day. She was good yesterday, what was happening. Like, I'm not going to lie. Nina was like, you know what I mean? Totally on point. But I'm sure Nina was stressed out just hearing me yesterday that I got to give it to her.
Well, I
She's
was really trying to figure out if you were messing with it. Like it just
Nina thought I was, yeah, Nina
it
thought like I
really
was fucking with her.
it sounded like my group of friends were all like staging this whole chaos, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so who, like, what is happening?
The
I'm
story
laughing
was
because I really think
unbelievable.
it's a joke because I'm like, there's no way this is happening right now.
Yeah. The
But
story
then
just
I'm like, she is at the police department, so I mean, or is that the police?
yeah, he was like, is this really happening? Like, yeah, that's how bad it was that Nina was waiting for the whole, like, just kidding, you know?
I'm like, all
And it
right,
never
Mr.
came.
Punchline, it should be coming anytime. Anytime, let me know anytime.
But yeah, it never came. And then all day today, she's just been cracking up laughing. If I hear Nina tell me, though, Ivory, you told her it's over. One more time. I'm like, I didn't know what the hell I was saying. I was trying to text back. Make her stop. I meant it's over. The conversation's over. She's like, I don't know. I think you made it worse. You told her it's over. You broke up with her on text message.
It's like, this is the
I didn't mean to. And my husband's like, you broke up with who over text message? I'm like, shut up. Everyone leave me alone. I didn't know what to say. I did. I walked into. Someone just said, "Oh, I did." I walked into that police station. My mind was going a mile. My mind was just going everywhere.
Before you even went though, like you legit were like,
I walked.
they kept saying, "Well, why don't you go to the police station?" And she was like, "I would," but I just started thinking about it, and I just felt so crazy. I really would, but I just felt, and then I sat there and I said, "Damn, it really, damn."
Right. Like,
Damn,
think
it
about
really
it.
does sound. It does sound bad. It really
Yeah.
does.
Flawless, Nina, canceled, Pink Pony. They sent me here and they told me to tell you about the nymph of satire. But I walked
It's
in there and
like,
I'm like,
yeah. I was like, yeah, it does really sound bad. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I walk in there, okay, and I say to the guy, listen, I'm a page. And he's like, you're a page? Yeah, listen, I'm a page, okay? Like, I
Man.
sounded like how do you start that off? What do you say? Well, I'm being stalked. By who? By a nymph in Egyptian. What am I, what's, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, how
Wait,
do you
you
even start that
said.
off?
So she called you again, and you answered the phone again. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's a good question.
No, because
Oh man.
when I had to tell him, I'm like, yeah, because she called me from a different number. It wasn't the same number. And he's like, oh, she has different numbers. I'm like, she has multiple numbers. And he's just like, if she called you again, why would you answer it? I'm like, shut up, you jerk. Listen to me. She didn't call me from the same number. He's, if she was harassing you, why'd you pick up the phone the second time? He was not even there. Man.
I was like, damn, Ivory, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking to myself, it's bad, but they gotta be playing with me because, like, how did the stars align to where this happened? Like, how?
Man, listen, you had to hear me talking to the cop. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, now she thinks it's just me and her against Gypsy Rose. He's like, Gypsy Rose.
And you know he know who Gypsy Rose is. Like,
He's
so
like,
how do you base?
see, what does Gypsy Rose have to do with this? I'm like, nothing and everything. I'm like, so she wants to take down Gypsy Rose. And he's like, what do you mean she wants to take down? I'm like,
No,
and
and
that's
mind you, we're watching her page, and she's like doing a voiceover and like losing it on Gypsy, right? And I'm like, damn. Like she really sounds really mad. Like her voice is like I was like, this is like I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I don't and it's not she was going off on other people on her page, which I guess was where I
dude,
was like, okay, she
I, this is how
I'm
much
like,
I didn't know her. I didn't know she was doxing full babies on her page because people were commenting on her like gypsy stuff. She literally doxed some woman's baby. And I didn't know that until yesterday when the cop was like, I'm going to just go over there by the other cop and use my computer over there. You sit here and see if you can find something that can tell me like where she's from. And I'm like, I think the guy was scared of me at some point. He was like, I do not want to be in this room with this woman by myself. That he went out by the other cop and left me in the room by myself and was just watching me.
he said she needs a babysitter. Somebody watch her.
He just kept watching me through the double pane glass. You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting in this room all by myself. I'm like, he doesn't really want me to look through my phone. He just wanted to leave me because he was getting a little concerned. You know what I mean? The poor kid, he's like 22. You know what I mean? I got kids older than him, and he's sitting there going, "Where's my gun? Let me just keep my hand over here." Like he didn't know what the hell to. And I looked like a crackhead, y'all. My hair was like I literally like I had no makeup on. I was exhausted. I had the black rings under my eyes. I was like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I had this some ripped jean shorts on and just you know what I mean, like an old T-shirt, and I'm just one of those comfy ones with the stains all over. You got like paint and stuff, like just literally, I look like a complete freaking crackhead. I wouldn't check on a normal day. I wouldn't check my mail looking like that. But here I am walking around in public, just had enough. Didn't even have the energy to like change my clothes or like look half decent because I was like just so out of it. I looked like a crackhead walking in there talking about, sir, I'm a page and I'm being stalked, and he's like, what? Yeah, yeah, it was, man, this would could have been two Lifetime movies. This could have been a Lifetime. Where's Lifetime now? This is a movie. You want a movie? Here you go. What Gypsy Rose, talking about Gypsy Rose does to people. Let me show you.
Because that was definitely more interesting than that entire season.
Yeah, for real. But no, like, listen, if Gypsy was scared that somebody was going to come harm her at book signings, she would have looked like me. Because I can assure you, I was like rambling on. I was making no sense. I had no sleep. Totally paranoid. Looking everywhere. Every noise was making me jump. It was just. You can see that there was something wrong. I probably looked like I was paranoid of some kind of drug because I was like paranoid and overtired, lack of sleep, just because I thought people were breaking into my house. Like just rambling on, not making any sense. I couldn't gather my thoughts just from exhaustion and you know what I mean, the stress of it all. And that's what it looks like when you think somebody's coming to kill you. Not that. I'm just saying.
Well, once you unalived your mom, trust me, she wasn't scared.
No, no. And I'm sitting there going, if she does kill me, am I going to get 17 stabs to the back and 2 slices to the neck? Is she going to try and pull a gypsy on me? Like, I was literally like losing my mind because that's what I'm thinking. And I'm like, is she just trying to be like Gypsy? Like now all of a sudden, like she's trying to say that it was just the way she was turning things around, like trying to make me, you deserve everything that Gypsy deserves. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was just the weirdest, craziest. Man, it was wild. It was wild. I can't. And then today I'm sitting there trying to like I slept, like I'm trying to gather my thoughts a little bit, and there's Nina laughing, hysterical, talking about, you broke up with her. That's what you broke up with. You shouldn't have broke up with her. You told her it was over. Bad choice of words. Don't ever tell a stalker it's over. I don't care what you're talking about. But yeah,
So
that
what exactly is over, Ivory?
yeah, that was. I mean, obviously, there's people out there with issues. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. But it was crazy. It was wild.
So,
And you said
needless to say,
exactly.
no stalkers are being accepted at this moment. That application has been filled.
Yeah, that position's filled. Lumi just said, you said it's over, and she said, let me pop my floaties. Exactly. Exactly.
Facts. Facts.
And I'm sitting here, I know what she looks like because of her videos. I'm sitting here thinking, like picturing her dangling off the freaking riverbank. Like, it just like, but then I started feeling like horror. Like I felt, not only was I scared and paranoid and anxious, I'm like, if this woman does something to herself because of me, like I can't live with myself. And I'm like flipping out at like Nina and the girls, and I'm like, guys, please, like I can't live with this. Like you know what I mean? They're like, she's not like, you know what I mean? She's not doing anything. And I'm like, you don't know. Like I was literally like, God,
And I'm
please don't
like,
do
well,
that to
look,
me.
Ivory,
I can't
if
live with
she
that.
does do something, you can't control that. Like, I need you to know, like, you've done what you can. You can't control that. And I was like, she goes, I know, but. And she goes, like, hours later, she's like, she just texted me, am I okay? I couldn't even take it at that point. I was like, I can't.
She
I was
did.
like,
She's sitting there, like all of this crazy shit, and then goes, "Are you okay?" Because I stopped answering her. And
I
I'm
was
like,
like, you know
"Okay,
what? I gotta log off. I can't today.
you're crazy. Why are you asking me if I'm okay? Why is she asking me?" I'm like, "Why is she asking me if I'm okay? What is that supposed to mean? Am I supposed to be dead? Was like, did I drink the poison juice? Like, what's happening?"
I was like, this is so nuts.
Not Magda going, "We're gonna get you some merch with I'm a page." I didn't
No,
know what.
literally.
Sir, I'm a page. I didn't know what. I couldn't start off with the nymph of satire. I just. Oh, God. Man, it was just wild. Ah,
I was like, this is out of control. Yeah, I don't know what we should do from here, but
not the family lover. Man, it made it sound like her family was in love with me, like I was passed around like the rag doll. I was like, what do you mean I'm your family lover? I'm like, what is happening? Like, it was crazy.
she
Mm.
said, I've been a big fan, a big fan. I'm like, okay.
You're my idol. Look. I'm a cool chick. Like, I'll hang out. I love having good conversation, but I am nobody's idol. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm definitely not anybody's idol. So let me just put that out there. If you're feeling like I'm your idol, I need you to go to the next page because this is not the page for you. Oh,
Dear God.
and then
Barb,
humbles me.
I gotta go
It's
because you know I
not
gotta
that page.
get the kids to school tomorrow. Don't talk over me like she did. No, I'm joking.
You getting triggered?
Yes.
I can't.
But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow because my kids have to go to school tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. It's getting late. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I mean, it's funny, but not funny. But yeah, just remember that the next time y'all want to dock somebody, please just be careful, guys, because it can get really dangerous. But
Lesson of the day
yeah,
is do not talk to strangers.
strangers are a big no-no. Definitely don't talk to strangers, especially on TikTok. So, all right, guys, good night. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for all the love in the chat. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you
Good
tomorrow.
night, everyone.
Good night, guys. The page is signing off.